I'm getting seasick.
Are you?
No. Imagine.
Bleh.
Oh.
So,
Here we are. What a fucking
here we are.
setup, bro.
Yeah, thanks for coming aboard, brother.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me on your vessel.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Her name's Pearl.
Pearl.
Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah.
Where are you there?
This is actually one of my favorite islands in the whole world. It's a place called the Percy Islands. And you can see the A-frame here is like a building that the yachties that explore the coastlines of Australia and the world actually built like a house on this beach for all the communal yachties to come to and to gather and to celebrate in community. And yeah, this is the little painting that my sister
What
did.
country is that in?
This is Australia, bro.
Oh, is it?
It's just up the coast.
Nice.
Yeah. A couple 100 kilometers out to sea.
Sick.
Yeah, beautiful place.
That looks peaceful.
Yeah, I actually ended up building a hut on the beach here, my own hut with my friend Aaron. He lived in it for about 2 months, and I dropped him off at the island and I just sailed away.
Wow.
And yeah, that was
Lived on an island for 2 months.
Yeah, that was his intention.
It
Yeah.
must have been so grounding.
It was amazing. Yeah, we filmed the whole thing.
Survival techniques.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the ocean has always kind of shown me that like it is possible to live alongside Mother Nature, because when you're out on the sea and you start running out of food, you start realizing that there can be a symbiotic relationship between humans and the sharks and the ecosystem. And yeah, part of the ideology that I live by is I don't consume any meat that I don't catch myself, which often forces me to only eat seafood.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like if people were to take more responsibility for the meat that they consume, there'd be a much more stable environment here on the planet for us all to enjoy.
How did you get that?
Maybe.
Oh, it's all been captured. So.
Yeah, we're here.
It's a good starting message, isn't it? Might as well just start the show now.
Yeah, amazing.
Sage Jefferys.
Hey, brother.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having me on your beautiful boat, the Pearl.
My pleasure. It's an honor to have you here. It's already been beautiful to hang out and set up the space. And yeah,
what a spot.
It's a pleasure. So thank you for having me on your show as well.
You've been living on boats since you was a little kid and still living on a boat. What was it that got you onto boats?
Well, I started off living on the ocean by the age of 11. And at first, my dad bought his first boat when I was 11 and started cruising up and down the east coast of Australia, migrating with the whales. But it took me a really long time to actually enjoy it. For a lot of my childhood, I didn't quite understand the depth in which was available to me when I was out on the ocean, and I wanted to run away from it. I wanted to avoid it. I didn't think it was fun or beautiful. I just wanted to go back to land and like go back to the Matrix. But there became a certain point in my journey where I started inviting friends with me, and all of a sudden I started realizing how much awe they were in when they were out on the ocean, and it helped unlock something in me. And ever since the age of about like 15 to 16, my relationship with the ocean started to change. I started to meet her with more reverence and more respect and more depth. I guess as I matured, I realized that the emptiness and the vastness of the sea can be a direct correlation to how I can choose to feel inside. So I just started to fall in love with the ocean around about the age of 16, 17 and bought my first boat just before I turned 20, and have been living on the ocean ever since. And yeah, it's my longest lasting relationship. My relationship with the sea is something that I will have for the rest of my life. There's nothing I can do that will make her leave me. You know, she is so forgiving and so beautifully welcoming, and she resets us. She resets our nervous system. She resets how we're feeling when we are feeling pain, sorrow, grief, sadness, even joy and ecstasy, we can go to the ocean and she will amplify or help us release whatever it is we need to move through. And I've been using the ocean as a tool for my own personal healing since about the age of 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Really powerful. I see. I noticed you call the ocean her. Is that, where did you get the gender from? Is it just because it's like Mother Earth and...
Well, the ocean feels very symbolic to representing the feminine, actually. And something that I've learnt through connecting with her for all of these years is that she is a multifaceted being. You know, one day she'll be calm and one day she'll be storming. And sometimes I'll be trying to fight the current, but everything is telling me why, go the other way. And for me, I've been able to correlate really deeply that the lessons that I've learned from the sea are lessons that I can directly correlate and bring into my own relationships. And the more that I am present and the more that I am aware with how she is expressing herself, whether she's, you know, it's a clear blue sky and, you know, the sun's out and the vibes are high, or it's overcast and this huge swell and strong wind. It represents, I think, a beautiful correlation to the human emotion and the feminine emotion, because she's a wild force and she's not going to be the same that she was yesterday. She will shift and change just like the water will. And yeah, I think it's a her. I'm very confident that it's a her.
Now you put it that way, that kind of makes sense. And how do you find your grounded masculine in the midst of, you know, the big shifts in regards to being on the ocean, and how does that correlate to, you know, your real life? Do you think it helps?
Absolutely, bro. That's a beautiful question. I think first and foremost, I lean back into my center, lean back into my core, and from that place, first observe, first look around, first soak in what's going on around me. And then from the place of deep presence and perception to the people in my life or the mother nature in my life, I then choose the path of least resistance, because there's always a path of least resistance. It's possible to, like, you know, not be super aware of one's surroundings and then choose the wrong path. And I think for me, finding my masculine center within the world of the feminine ocean and feminine beings has been, as long as I can return to my center and perceive from a grounded, multifaceted, observatory perspective, then I can subjectively see the path of least resistance moving through the center.
I guess it removes all other noise as well. So, like, you can actually observe your situation and go, am I in a life-threatening situation here? Do I need to, you know, turn on my fight or flight, or can I just relax? Because I feel like on land, with all of the distractions and all the noise, there's a lot of people living in hyper fight or flight with very minimal reason to in everyday life. There's a lot of stressors being, you know, affecting people where I don't really feel the need to, even for myself. There's certain things that get to me. I'm like, why am I stressing about stuff like this? So
totally.
I think, living on the ocean, does it simplify them kind of things and simplify life a little bit?
Definitely. Yeah. Everything gets stripped away when living on the sea. You know, it's no longer, it's 10 minutes to 9. I got to get to work and, you know, sit behind a desk and work for someone else and their dream and their mission and their life that they're creating for themselves. When I'm on the sea, I get to wake up and the first thing I do is check the weather. Okay, now I'm in harmony with Mother Nature and she's the one telling me where I need to go and what I need to do. And what I feel like that invites within my being is connection to something much greater than myself, which then makes all the things that a lot of people stress about in everyday life very not important. You know, it's as long as we can eat, travel, and connect with community, I feel like that's a beautiful place to be. And the ocean provides me with all of those things. Yeah.
I found a peace with coming on this boat, just sitting on here and instant calm of just being on a boat. It kind of makes me want to buy a boat. I know it's like a romanticized kind of dream, but then I can imagine there's challenges, and I'd love to know what are some of the biggest challenges you face with living on a boat.
Some of the biggest challenges I've faced would probably be the maintenance and the upkeep with the vessel, because every vessel is trying to sink. You know, slowly but surely, every boat on the water is eventually going to end up at the bottom of the sea. So, yeah, meeting also the boat like a woman has been a form of, you know, representing navigating through challenges, because just like every relationship, every vessel requires maintenance.
And our own vessels.
100%. Our own vessels, the vessel we're on, our partner's vessel, the container of what it is that a relationship creates, everything requires maintenance and showing up to. And I feel like the boat represents so much that is going on in my subconscious field as well. Like if there's something that I'm ignoring, like the boat will show me that first.
In what way?
Like, for instance, I have 2 dead batteries on the boat right now. Sorry, two dead engines with 1 dead battery.
Yeah.
And all I need to do is replace the battery, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And it's like, okay, well, if there's that showing up in my life, clearly there's blind spots in other parts of my life too that really just take one simple step to be able to consciously choose a different path, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But in terms of deep challenge, I feel like there's so many moments that come to mind. A lot of them get tied into my childhood on my dad's boat, because he was learning to sail when he bought his first boat, and I was his wingman and I was his left-hand man, and I had to learn through all of his mistakes, I guess. And we were put in some pretty hairy situations throughout my upbringing. One of them that comes to mind is going out the Brunswick Bar on a big day, and Dad had 5 kids on board. And himself, he was the only adult.
When you say big day, you mean like big waves?
Big surf. Yeah, like the waves. People were surfing out the front of the bar, getting barreled. Like, and Dad's like getting ready to take the boat out, and he's got the kids there, and we're all trusting him because we don't know anything better, you know, and we're just looking out and there's people just surfing like right in front of the bar, right where we need to go.
Wow.
And he mistimed the tide on this one morning by about half an hour. So what normally one would do when crossing a bar is you cross just before high tide, so the water is still sucking in, which also squashes the tip of the waves. Whereas when the tide turns and starts heading back out, one, it's sucking the boat out towards the waves, but it's also lifting and making the waves peak more, so the waves are larger. So we're sitting there at the breakwall waiting for a gap in the swell, but the tide's already turned because he mistimed the tide, and the boat starts going side on and he starts losing control of the vessel. And it's very, very narrow bar, so like we would hit the edge very, very quickly as soon as he loses that control. So instead of being able to wait for the set to come and pass and then us go, he starts losing control and he just has to gun it. So he puts the pedal to the metal and we start heading out, and there's this big set just coming in like directly for us, and there was nothing we could do other than just punch through them. The first wave comes, breaks just before the boat, and we like hit it and like spread water like all the way to the side and like boost way over it. But then as soon as we made it over the first wave, all the water was like filled with air bubbles and like white froth, which loses all the traction with the propeller underwater. So it's like pushing air bubbles instead of building traction. So once we boost over that second wave, we lose all of our speed and then we can't generate speed again. And there's a bigger one coming. And the next one literally broke onto the bow of the vessel and broke, massive wave, like double overhead, broke on the bow of the vessel, broke and exploded and went all the way over the boat, consumed the boat. Dad's on the steering wheel. I'm at the cockpit entrance with the GoPro.
Where are these other 4 kids?
They're also in the cockpit. We've all got our life jackets on, luckily.
That's all right then.
Well, I mean, none of it was all right. It was hectic.
Got their life jackets on. You're safe.
Yeah, right. It's all an illusion. And then I have the GoPro and I'm filming this moment. And then as the wave breaks onto the bow of the boat, I throw the GoPro downstairs and the wave just envelops the whole boat. Dad gets smashed. My sister gets smashed up into the wall. And then luckily there wasn't another wave that came after that. And we made it out. But the whole like central area where we're all hanging out was filled with water. And that was one challenge that we faced out on the ocean.
Now it makes your dead battery and the engine problem seem like nothing, hey?
Yeah.
I mean, how incredible at the same time that you got to experience something like that with your dad and with your family. I can imagine, like, after that experience, although traumatic, kind of brought you closer together.
Yeah, I think my dad has inspired me in a lot of ways in my life. I'm really fortunate and grateful to be able to have that kind of relationship with my father, where I've been able to see him and his actions and his choices that he's made in his life and draw inspiration from them instead of resentment.
How fucking beautiful was that?
Yeah, I'm really grateful. Like, we both live on boats.
He lives next door to
you?
you?
He lives right here next to me.
So
and we're both filmmakers and we both are conservationists and surfers. And yeah, he kind of showed me that I don't need to live inside of a box. Like, I can do whatever I want with my life as long as I find what is naturally inspiring to me and makes me excited, then that's all I need to do and that's all I need to follow. The rest will fall into place. Yeah, I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I think it's a powerful thing to have in any man's life, any boy's life, is a father figure that actually displays, challenging moments like going over the barge. And I'm sure there was many, many more which you could go into, but the fact that he had the courage to do that and then to take you on that adventure and then to just grow along with you and guide you and show you the ropes pretty much.
Yeah.
And I think it's very rare and very unique and very special. And the fact that you get to live next to him and, you have the same interests and you, hopefully get along. I'm sure you do.
We do get along.
If you live next door to each other.
We have crazy antics. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
so good. And I'm thinking back to when you said, you've got your 2 dead engines and you've got your dead battery, but it's a reflection of you in your life. What do you think is missing, like, for you to just, because if you wanted to, you could probably do it tomorrow, but obviously there's something in the middle of that stopping you, whether that be divine time and it's not the right moment to do that. What do you think the reasoning is that you've just not gotten around to it? And have you found the correlation in your own personal healing of what might be stopping something like that?
Well, within this conversation, I'm discovering it as we speak.
Beautiful.
But something that came through quite clearly the other day was I have been outsourcing my fulfillment in being met by the feminine. And I feel like there's a part of my soul that has been waiting to dream up my most fantastic fantasy life when I'm met. And it's been quite a limiting belief that I've carried, that I can only achieve my wildest dreams when I'm finally met by the feminine. And in that, there's been a part of my soul that hasn't been ready to take action because I've been waiting. And yeah, I guess as I'm sitting here thinking about the parts of my vessel that have been ignored, I also noticed that there's been parts of my own dreaming that I haven't had the courage to face alone. And just in the past couple of days, I've been really consciously reclaiming my power in going after exactly what I want and not putting any power outside of myself in another, in the form of a feminine, in order to bring it into reality. And that's been really powerful for me to acknowledge within myself.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Like, I remember we were speaking about the other day about relying on your happiness and your progression from a feminine energy being a partner. On reflection, do you know where that comes from? Like the kind of not need, but the want so much for love, and it's stopping you from progressing because you want it so much. Do you see any patterns to why you might want that so much?
I feel like the desire to want love is very natural and very primal. Like we all, want a partner and we all have a deep yearning for love. But I think the pattern that I have been falling into, that I'm now building awareness around, is that I don't need the feminine in order for my dreams to come true. I am capable, powerful enough from my own sovereign core. And the more that I can concentrate on my path, the more that I can hold my center, the more that I can find the path of least resistance through the journey of eventually meeting someone who is a divine match, the more magnetized that timeline will become to me and for me. So I feel like that's the practice that I'm now leaning into more so now than ever, is not giving my power away within the interactions that I have, and remaining diligent and discerning and in my masculine energy to stay on my path and to not waver from it when I get tempted by the feminine. In fact, the more I can stay on my path, the more alignment I will be calling into my life in relation to the feminine and every other aspect of life as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to look at it, because when you search for something so deeply and so desperately at times, you end up either attracting the wrong, or not the wrong energy, but an energy that isn't a match or is to teach you something. So you can get to the point of being at peace with yourself. When you stop searching for external validation or external happiness from, a partner, or whether it be money or whether it be a job title. And if you stop attaching that to your own values and your own happiness, I think that's where true power comes, because you can start to bring it back to yourself. You can start to know yourself, your values, and, what you want in a feminine partner, and what that actually looks like to you. How does she look? How does she, what are her beliefs? So I think the more you bring it back to yourself, like you said, the more it magnetizes that energy towards you. So it's powerful that you've discovered that now. Yeah, I went through something similar where it was trying to get external validation through female energies and interactions, until eventually it was actually more destroying to my soul and my energies, because it was for the wrong reasons. So that was when it switched to, all right, find my center, find myself, figure out who I am as a person, and what energies do I want to bring into my life. Yeah. I can imagine living on a boat. Does it get lonely?
It does. Yeah. Being out on the ocean is very excluded from everything on the mainland. So I think that's partially why my desire to have a partnership that is on the ocean is so strong, because when I'm out there, like, I think it's an interesting quote. Like, does happiness really exist if there was no one else there to see it? And I find that whenever I share moments with people, the happiness can be amplified so much more because there's someone else there to remember it, someone else there to reflect back the magic that took place. And I find sometimes when I'm out at sea for a really long time alone, there's almost like a tinge of the beauty that like fades a little bit. But then whenever I'm with people, it just like becomes even more magical and more beautiful. So it does get lonely on the ocean. And
so fucking true, isn't it? Like, that's where the magic of human soul and connection comes from. This is something that robots and AI could never replace. This is where having a conversation like this, or being on the ocean and seeing a whale jump out of the water and sharing that with other people, that's where a very, very key component to, I think, happiness and to, I just keep it, happiness for humans is actually connection.
Yeah.
100%.
I feel like everything and everyone wants to connect. Like, from the animal interactions I've had under the surface of the water, curiosity exists for all of the animals, including myself, towards them. I had this interaction with a dolphin once where I was swimming in the Great Barrier Reef and this pod of dolphins came out of nowhere, completely unexpected. I'm encompassed in live whale song during this free dive, and I dive down and this one dolphin splits off from the pack and he kind of like swims over to me a little bit and he faces me dead on and he just looks at me, and all the other dolphins are just like swimming past, but this one just like noticed me and just like came over and acknowledged me. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so seen. I feel so accepted. And like all the stories that existed, you know, in my limiting beliefs, none of it mattered in that moment. I feel like nature is constantly trying to provide moments to return back to center, but people are so numbed and distracted by their phones and their jobs and the social banter and gossip that they forget to return back to what is most true, which is connection with self, connection with nature, connection with environment. So that's why I've kind of made that my purpose and part of my sharing online as well, is like inspire people to come back, return to where we came from. We never lived in boxes. We never had doors. We never had a light switch that could just turn on and off. We were living in harmony with Mother Nature. And that's why I've chosen this life on the sea too, because it's the closest thing that I can get to maintaining some level of comfort within livability, but yet being fully controlled and guided by Mother Nature.
Sounds like freedom. I was going to ask you what does freedom look like to you, but it kind of sounds like you're pretty much on the path to it. But what does freedom look like to you ultimately? Do you feel like you've attained ultimate freedom yet, or you still think you've got some steps to make to get there?
I think I'm living a version of reality that is free in a large comparison to many other people's life. Like, I can take my home wherever I choose, anywhere in the world where there's water, and have everything that I need with me. And that's a pretty liberating feeling of freedom. A lot of people, I think, need to find freedom first within, because they're living in a very controlled element or aspect of human life. You know, they're living in a house and they're going to an office every day. So if they don't try to find first freedom within, they'll never find it anywhere. Whereas for me, I feel like I find freedom in my environment. I find freedom within the interactions I have with Mother Nature and the animals that come into my life and the people. And I feel like I've found a pretty awesome version of freedom in this human experience. It does kind of feel like I've stumbled upon some kind of glitch where I can wake up and follow my excitement and what lights me up each and every single day, and be supported in doing that. And it is very freeing. But there's also, it's interesting when I have become super content and I guess complacent with the level of freedom that I have, part of me wants more. And it's good to just like remember that like the previous version of me, I'm living in that previous version of me's dream.
It's a good reminder, that, because it can lead to ultimate dissatisfaction whenever you're constantly searching for more. This is a message that keeps coming through to me, is like, actually take a look at yourself a few years back to who you are now and look at how far you've come. Because you've climbed a lot of mountains, and for me personally, I've climbed a lot of mountains, and I've spoke about this on the previous pod, where you climb the mountain, and instead of looking back and going, "Fuck, look how far I've climbed! What an achievement! Like, good job! Like, you should be so proud of yourself." Instead, there's a part of me that goes, "That was just part of the journey, that's just a given. I had to climb that mountain to get to where I am, to survive, to provide, to be there for my family. It's not something I want to pat myself on the back for sometimes. Where's the next mountain? What's the next task?" And that's, for me personally, where I'm at the minute, is I need to keep going. And sometimes being able to just take a moment to free myself within. What do you do to, counteract that wanting of more, and how do you find the space and the tools to free yourself within to be proud of how far you've come?
It all comes back to connecting to nature for me. Whenever I'm in a place in my life where I'm sad or moving through something challenging, if I take myself back to nature, it resets me. Often surfing is the thing that calls me back into the deepest level of presence. And I think self-belief is something that this world doesn't have very much of, without it being ridiculed as arrogance and cockiness, which is something I've journeyed with too, because I'm a very extroverted person, and in social environments love to talk to lots of people and express, all the things that I love, or maybe some things that I'm good at as well. And I've been perceived as cocky and arrogant. And I've been really invited to sit with the part of me that's like, oh shit, okay, like I've had this reflection given to me a couple of times, and I'm not going to run from it. I'm going to truly let it in, and then move through my life with more awareness as to how maybe I am perceived in those ways, yet also giving myself forgiveness that I think those parts of myself are seen and are judged because I have self-confidence, and not many people have the courage to express that because they're afraid of judgment. But I don't really mind judgment. If someone wants to judge me, like I went through a very difficult time throughout my childhood where I was extremely bullied and had no friends for about 13 years of my upbringing. I was extremely judged. I was ridiculed. I was left out. I was bullied. I was the best person in all the sports, but the last person to be picked, so I've faced judgment my whole life. So when it comes now, especially from the people that I trust, I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. Like, thank you. I think that's something that I value the most in all of the relationships and friendships that I have in my life. When someone has the courage enough to speak to what is uncomfortable to share and express, those are the people that you should be keeping in your life, not the people that sugarcoat how you should be showing up or what they see. In fact, if people allow you to bitch about someone, if people allow you to talk badly about someone behind their back, and then they support you in those stories, those are unhealthy relationships. those are not supporting you to be the best version of yourself. So when someone comes to me and says like, hey, Sage, I've experienced that you're a little cocky. I'm like, oh, bro, thank you. Thank you for saying what you feel. I now appreciate you more because you've brought that to my awareness. Here comes a storm. I wonder how big it is. Should we check the radar? Mother Nature is expressing herself.
Oh man, just to reflect on that, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because, you know, to them you're coming across as cocky, but because you know yourself and your integrity and your intention behind who you are, you might just be triggering something from their shadow, something from their uncomfortableness because they can't sit with your being.
Bro, you are spot on. And also, it's about to piss down, bro. There's a storm coming.
Nice.
All right, I'm just going to move a couple of these cushions.
Get cozy.
Put it under my bum.
Yeah.
It's going to rain for like 15 minutes.
Oh, nice. We'll just roll with it.
We'll just roll with it, bro.
Enjoy the rain.
If you could bring a couple of those cushions so that they're not resting up against this wall.
We get soaked.
Because then the water comes down.
No.
I think we should be good. All right. We are on a boat.
The reality of the situation.
Bro, storm's coming.
The audio is going to be great.
It's going to be terrible, eh?
I don't know.
It's going to rain for 15 minutes.
All right. I mean, we can just keep rolling and hopefully the audio enhancement tool cuts out the pitter-patter. If not, we'll just have to skip this section.
Copy that.
But yeah. Touching back, because it's a powerful message with what you're saying about, you know, being you and being cocky, but you're just being you. And maybe sometimes you are being a bit cocky, and maybe sometimes you are being arrogant. We all have moments where we can step into that.
Yeah.
But how do you define and how do you deal with the moments of where, you know, yeah, thank you for telling me that, and thank you for sharing the uncomfortableness, because that is powerful. And I want to touch on the point you made of if you've got friends that can call you out on your shit and say, you said you was going to do this, you didn't stick to your word, like they hold you accountable for your shit. You've got a good friend. You don't want friends who are just, you know, giving you validation and, you know, gossiping or trying to tempt you with habits which are not of service to you for the evolution of yourself. Obviously, you have those people in your life, and eventually, once you start to evolve as a human, that those people begin to kind of naturally just go in their own way because energies and vibrations. You know, you start to change your vibration. You're on a completely different radio station to the people that you used to vibe with, which is why personal evolution can be painful. So what I'm trying to get at is, what do you say to these people when, you know, you're in your authentic, true self, not being cocky, but they, you know, it's triggering their shadow of, I can't be around this.
I try and hold compassion and not take it personally and not respond from a place of, I'm upset that you're seeing this in me. You know, I try to remain grateful, you know, because I find that within my life, I'm that person that has the courage to speak to the uncomfortable things, and not everyone can receive it.
Yeah.
And whenever there's a moment in my life where I'm being faced with the opportunity to receive something that makes me feel a little uncomfortable, I cherish it, because they're few and far between. Not many people lean in to the lingering thought in their head that they want to speak to, but they don't. And when someone does, I'm so grateful. and really choose to like soften as much as I can within a challenging reflection and receive it like a gift, because it is a gift.
Yeah, to feel that uncomfortability is a gift in life, of where you can be so numb. To feel that uncomfortableness or that pain of someone putting a mirror up to you and going, "This is you right now. How is it making you feel?" And if it triggers a part within you that is uncomfortable or a bit icky, it's a good chance to then go in and actually speak to that part of yourself. See if it's that little boy from when you was, 5, 6, whatever age you was, where you was at school and a teacher shamed you for speaking in class or pointed you out, or your classmates laughed at you. There's probably a part in there that is hurting, that needs love. That's what I've realized from my younger days of being triggered and being affected by what other people say. And that's where you ultimately lose power, is when you can so easily be affected from other people's words and actions, to the point where it changes your whole vibrational energies and it changes your day. What do you do to protect yourself in this day and age from things like that?
I'm very selective with who I give my time and energy to, because my time and energy is my currency. And whoever I'm giving my time and energy to, it needs to be a symbiotic relationship. So if I'm just in the company of someone and they're just dumping and they're just talking so much and not asking me any questions or not showing curiosity, I often really reel it back in my energy and acknowledge that, they're at a certain place within their journey where they're not wanting symbiotic relationships. They're just wanting to be seen and they're just wanting to be heard. And I don't have much space in my life for people like that. I think life is a collaborative experience where we're all here to support and learn from each other. When someone's just projecting all their perspectives and all their things without ever giving anyone else a chance in the circle to share their truth and share their experience, I just consciously choose to reel my energy back in and focus it elsewhere where there's a reciprocal dynamic.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because those people probably just are searching for validation from which they never had as a child,
probably,
most likely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's important, I think, as adults, as anyone really, even if you're a younger person, it's to have values and have understanding of what kind of people you want to be around. And when, like I said, when you're around people that is just, they're all gossip and they're talking about themselves, and it's just an energy and a vibration which doesn't really match up. So yeah, being very, very selective of the people that you spend time with is something that I've had to learn, and it's a painful process of acceptance. And sometimes I find on this journey that I'm on, it can also be lonely, because as you're going through that transformation and as you're changing I don't know, I feel like it's happening at a rapid rate right now for me personally, where I'm not the same person energetically as I was 6 months ago or even a year ago. And I just feel like it continuously keeps happening. Whilst my values remain the same, my energetic frequencies are shifting so much right now that it's hard to find. I don't want to say it's hard to find, but I've found it challenging to connect on a genuine level of authenticity, of comfort, of similar frequency. When you just meet someone and you can just feel like I've known this fucking person for ages. There's no performance. There's no me hiding who I am. This is me. You're you. I can speak. I could cry. I could do whatever I want. And these are some people I've met, bro, that I've only known for a week or something, or 2 weeks. And the connection that I've got with these people are sometimes deeper, much deeper than connections I've had with people, with relationships I've had for years, even family members, like to be able to just cut past that wall that I feel a lot of people hold, this protective shield that people have to like stop the depth. Is that something you experience? Because I can already feel you've got a lot of depth, and you know, living on a boat is very different to what most people do. Do you ever feel like you're so different to everybody else that you sometimes don't or can't connect with people, or is that not an issue?
I felt that my whole life, bro.
Yeah.
Especially during my childhood. I was so different.
In what way?
I was very beyond my years, I think, in my younger life. I was very energetic, probably some tinges of ADHD there as well. Never diagnosed.
Oh, yeah. We've all got it.
Yeah, probably a little. But I think the way I navigated my childhood through all the bullying and through all the ridiculing and abandonment from my peers, I'm actually really, really proud of, because I was extremely different, and I am still extremely different to a lot of the community and a lot of the society that we live in. But during my childhood, I noticed there was a voice inside of my head that was saying, you don't fit in. You need to change in order to fit in. And luckily, somehow, from maybe a power beyond me, I was like, no, I don't. I don't need to change in order to fit in. In fact, I need to hold this unique part of my spirit with tenderness and love. And I never changed in order to fit in to my peers and to my group. And I think because I had the self-love, even though I was going through such a really challenging time, because I didn't abandon the origin of my soul, the origin of my spirit, in order to be socially accepted, it slungshot me miles ahead of all of my peers, where by the age of 17, I dropped out of school, I moved to Bali, and I was thrust into a journey of self-development. When I came back from living in Bali for a year and saw the friends that I had that had been in school that whole time, and I had just gone through my first relationship with a woman much older than me at the time, I had become such a better version of myself. And then I saw that the system of schooling and the system of, staying comfortable and conforming and fitting in really slows down life's progression. When really life gives opportunity to people willing to be different. And it's really hard sometimes. Wow, that thunder struck.
Thunder. Perfect timing. It pays to be different.
Yeah. Right? Like life rewards people willing to take a risk. And I think the more people that are willing to fail, the more they will receive in their life and the more opportunities they will get given. I think a lot of people in this world are too afraid to be seen in failure.
Yeah.
Whereas recently I've been embracing my failure and sharing it proudly. And it's actually, I've seen it inspire people and be like, oh, it's okay to be human.
Yeah.
It's okay to have an up moment. It's okay to have a down moment. And in fact, giving all of ourself over to knowing that we're all walking a divine path, whether we see it or not, and trusting that path in the highs and the lows, there's a deep level of contentment that exists on the other side of that trust. And yeah, I feel like I've been living and reminding myself to come back to that trust every single day.
I love that, bro. And I can relate to some of the things you've felt, because growing up in Manchester and going to school there was rough experience. I did not really enjoy it. There was a lot of bullying. There was a lot of toxic energies of like pretty much fight or flight. It's kind of looking back was like a prison where you've just got to kind of be on your toes, either be quick at running, have hard friends, or have a brother that can kind of protect you as well. And I was the same, man, going through a lot of feeling of not fitting in. I remember going home and I'd just isolate, I'd be in my room, and I found my connected friends through online gaming when I was younger, weirdly enough, and I'd just isolate in my room and play on that. And then as I got older, once I finished school and broke from a 3.5-year relationship, that was the fuel that I used to go, you know what? I don't fit in here. These people, although I was put around them in school, my family, I love them and I appreciate what you've taught me. But if I remain here and stay in this environment when I can feel my soul is so heavily telling me like, this is not the place for you. I know you was born here, but if you stay here, you're going to be capped at an evolutionary growth where you can't go past the ceiling. So I knew, and I just trusted blindly. Like I just booked a one-way flight and just started traveling the world. I was like, there's got to be more to life than me being in this small town with this energy. And from 18 years old all the way till 26, 27, I'm 33 now. But from 18 to 26, 27, just putting full trust and faith in the universe and just going with the flow and not worrying so much about anything. Probably a bit too much of not worrying.
Yeah.
But yeah, how much did you have to change your environment to get away from, you know, that younger environment, from that place you was in when you was younger? Sorry.
Wholeheartedly. If I didn't completely 100% step out of the friend group that I was in when I was younger and choose a different path, I'd still be where I was. And that was what happened for me. I was in a very toxic friend group during my younger teens, filled with boys who were trying to be the leader of the group. And I never really played into it, but I was still involved in the friend group. And I was able to witness the kind of energy dynamics that were taking place. And then I would come home and I would hang out with my sister and her friends that were both they were all from a Steiner school. And they were also loving and caring and not afraid to express affection. And I would be living in this polar world where I got to see what unconditional love looked like. And then I would go back to my friend group and I got to see what toxic relationships looked like. And from that place of having such polar experiences, from going home to seeing healthiness, to going out, to being involved in just pure toxic, immature boy masculine energy, I was like, okay, there is no reason that I need to stay involved in this timeline. I'm choosing this when I go to hang out with those people. I don't have to choose that. I can choose something different. And I think that was a really, really powerful moment in my life when I realized the power of conscious choice. Because to me, it's like a superpower.
It's the ultimate power.
Dude, conscious choice is the best. Conscious choice can free everybody. If people just realize that what they choose creates their reality, then many, many, many people will not be living in any form of being stuck in a reality that they don't want to be living in. So yeah, that was a really powerful moment in my life when I realized, you know what? I can choose a different way. And I can choose to surround myself with different people. And when I did choose to do that and shifted my friend group and let everybody go, my life expanded and became the most magical experience I could have ever imagined, just with the willingness to choose the shift. And yeah, for anyone, you know, listening out here, tuning into this moment, like, you don't have to stay where you don't feel happy and where you aren't being met. There is no obligation. Your only obligation is to yourself and your own joy and your own happiness. And the more we can consciously choose to energize those parts of ourselves, the more joy we create for the world and in the world. And I feel like that's a really, I guess, more new age way of creating a world filled with love.
Yeah, and I don't think it sometimes doesn't happen as quickly as you want it to as well. It can, but sometimes you've got to really be in that feel, and you've got to really process the pain and the emotions to actually get through it. Because for me personally, I know I've got another mountain I want to climb, and I'm fucking so ready to do it. But for some reason, it's just like your engine and your batteries, you've not got around to doing it. It's something that I've still got to learn, or something I've still got to do before I can start ascending on this climb. Otherwise, I may have forgot my sleeping bag and I'll just die halfway up, So that's what I feel like what's happening for me. And usually before you start ascending the next mountain, you go through a very deep pain. That's what I'm experiencing anyway. Like, it looks all great on camera and stuff, but as a dad and as a partner and as someone who's trying to consciously evolve and become the best possible version of myself, for me, for my family, for my kids, so I can travel, so I can see people, I've got to go into the depths of the pain. And it's something my mentor taught me, is like, a lot of men want to ascend through the pain and they just want to, how do I get out of this, and go, go, go. But you've actually got to descend into the pain, actually feel the fucking pain, and go in and see where it comes from within you. See what this little boy inside or little girl inside needs from you. It could be just a little, I see you, I know you're freaking out right now, but you're safe, I'm here for you. You give that part of yourself love that you never received when you needed it back in the day. And that's where the healing is. And I think a lot of men need to embrace that pain, and women, but I can only speak to men because I'm a man in a way. I don't know, it's a weird thing to say, but yeah, I feel it's more because women, as you know from your sister, they can open up to each other and they can find that compassion. But because of the society we live in, and because of the different situation we've been put in as men, it's a lot more frowned upon to go into the pain and into the emotions.
True.
So I feel that's where the real alchemy is instead of trying to ascend out, go in, find the pain, let it come through the body. It's fucking painful. Like 2 days ago, man, I woke up and I felt really, really sad and really in pain, but it's because I'm doing a lot of things which are going to benefit me in the long run. It's going to make me become the person and the version I want to be. But at the same time, the shadow then gets louder as well, because it sees me ascending. It's like, whoa, I don't feel safe. Come back down here, have a drink, or, whatever the toxic self-sabotaging beliefs are of this damaged boy within me gets louder. So I found I've got to really go in and face this part of myself that is hurting before I can then climb the next mountain.
Totally, bro.
I know I went on a bit of a tangent there.
You're on the money, bro. You're on the money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just something like I want to be more authentically myself as well. And, we see it on the internet. A lot of people seem to have the shit together, and they seem, even just because I'm hosting a podcast, it might seem like I've got my shit together. But trust me, man, I have days of meeting the very, very dark depths of myself. And when you've got a kid and you've got a partner and you've got this kind of responsibility to be a provider or a protector, whatever it looks like in modern day society to be a man, sometimes can get heavy. And when you're in that system of, I need money to pay my rent, and then I need to go to work, and then I have to be away from my family, and it feels like sometimes you're just in this fucking mass vortex. So I'm talking to the people that are in this right now, that are feeling this, that are feeling the heaviness of life, wanting to change, because I feel it too. And this is why I'm here with you having these conversations, because I'm trying to continue to keep climbing this mountain. Not as quickly as I want to, but I'm climbing it step by step by step. And I think eventually, with the meeting of the pain and repair and action, is how we get to the top of the next mountain.
That's a beautiful, beautiful reflection, bro. Thanks for sharing that.
Welcome, bro. I think we have a drink after.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm proud of you, man. You should be proud of you as well. Takes courage to face self. Honestly.
And I think that's where humanity could heal if everyone faced self and became self-conscious of the words and the actions and everyday decisions that they make. That's where ultimate power is. That's the superpower, is being so self-aware that you can make decisions which are going to improve and benefit your life. What do you do on the days where you're feeling super fucking heavy? You know, I mean, it's human nature. You know, we can't always wake up feeling I live on a boat. Woohoo! I'm sure there's days.
There's definitely days where I'm not feeling on top of the world. Yeah. I've been giving myself permission to cry and trying to access that on my own. Often it's only when I'm in the company of someone who I really feel safe with that I have the opportunity to cry as a man. I find it really hard to cry when I'm alone. But I love crying. I think crying is one of the best ways to move through deep emotion. Like when I come out the tail end of a cry, oh my God, there's so much weight that has been stripped from my energetic field that it's like a breath of fresh air. And if only men would give themselves permission to cry more, I think the world would be a truly magical place. So yeah, what do I do when I'm feeling sad? Choose the right person to surround myself with that's going to support me to feel, not choose someone that's going to support me to numb. And that's been life-changing. And I'm lucky enough to have people in my life that I do feel really safe with that encourage and support me to go into the depth of my feeling. Yeah.
Powerful message, man. That's golden information. And that's something I had to realize as well, because similar to you, I found a shame of crying. I used to put my hands over my face and I just would cry in solitude back when I was younger, and I'd do it in a space where I was alone and I wouldn't ever let anyone see my
At least you
pain.
can do that though. I can't do that.
As a kid?
No, it's like as an adult.
Oh, right. Yeah. As an adult, it takes a lot of pressure build up and it's kind of pressure suppression. So that's why now I found someone safe that I can actually regularly check in with. And I think it's been a game changer for me ever since I prayed for someone to come into my life, because I knew that I needed to find other ways and other tools. I knew there was something missing from my life, but I didn't know it was crying. Crying was the thing that was missing. And through actually going into that pain and giving that you call it damage, but that painful part of myself that needed attention, started to get a bit more calm and a bit more quiet and a bit more like, okay, it's not so loud anymore. And like I said, when you release that much stored pain from the body and it comes out in tear form, it's liberating.
So resetting. It's so healing.
Yeah, and it's something then to use that pain and that lightness to then not get too addicted to it, but use it as fuel to find the action. Because I find a lot of people have pain and they'll cry and they'll stay in the crying and they'll go even deeper and they go even deeper. It's like, okay, you've cried and you've felt your pain. Now alchemize it. What can you do? What do you do to alchemize your pain from pain to fuel to keep going?
I think to alchemize my pain and the depth that I've journeyed through in my life, I return to the remembrance that the opportunity to feel is a gift. and the opportunity to go to the depth of my being is a gift. And if I can feel access to those parts of me, then I must be open and being honest with myself. If I don't have those moments in my life where I'm in the trenches, what am I avoiding? What am I not looking at? When I'm having a moment in my life where I'm deeply grieving or deeply sad or crying 4 to 5 times a day, I'm so grateful because I actually am not ignoring any parts of me. I'm giving all the parts of me that could really easily be ignored and buried under certain vices, whether it's going out, socializing, smoking, drinking, partying, whatever it is. When I feel, I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for the honesty with myself that I'm allowing myself to feel. So yeah, what I like to come back to when I'm in the midst of grief and pain is gratitude. That I'm actually honest with myself enough to feel.
Hey, Sage.
Yeah.
You want any dinner tonight?
Sure.
Yeah, flour.
That'd be great. I'm just in the middle of a podcast right now. No, you're all right. Love you.
Gotta get your dad featured in the
pod.
pod,
Yeah, there we go. He just calls
Sure.
out for a little dinner. How good's that?
Mate, perfect. What's Yellow Flower?
Yellow Flower is like a curry place in Byron. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It's good food.
Awesome. Yeah. I was just going to touch base on what you said with, you know, the gratitude of feeling so deeply because don't know about you, but I went through a phase of life of numbness where I didn't feel pretty much anything, where I was just pretty much done with life at one point. I was just like, what's the point? So to now be in a state of, to be able to feel fully and to feel all the emotions that are sometimes shamed when you're younger is liberating for me. Was there ever any times where you felt numb?
In the middle of heartbreak, I found it hard to move through the pain. And I think a strong part of me felt like if I kept grieving, that meant that I honored what took place. But I think throughout that period, I realized that you don't have to grieve in order to honor what took place. And I think a lot of people think that, you know, whether they break up with someone or someone passes away or they move from one country to another and let go of their whole friend group or whatever it is, a lot of people think that if they dwell in the pain of what took place, it's honoring it. And I think that's not a healthy distinction to identify with. I think it's definitely a beautiful thing to feel and to sit with and to go into. And then, like you said before, to alchemize, to live for and to live in what you've chosen, not what was or what could have been. Yeah, I feel like because of my unique upbringing and my, I guess, hippie parents, they always encouraged a deep level of self reflection. And yeah, my mum and my dad have been really good examples. Sure, every parent have their own blind spots, and at some point the child starts to see those and the parent is in denial. But yeah, I feel like it's a buildup of intuitive feeling for me. So like my intuition might kick in at a certain moment and say something around, you know, let's talk about compatibility with a partner. Because I've been going through my journeys of, you know, finding someone who I'm deeply resonating with. and not finding it. My intuition always communicated to me at some point. And for me, my intuition represents itself in a feeling in my body. Like if I'm having an interaction with a woman, for example, and, you know, I witness something that I'm not in alignment with, or that, you know, doesn't make me feel safe, it'll store itself somewhere in my being. And then depending on whether or not I have the courage to face that realization, either it gets buried or I create space. And
how you confront it straight away,
or confront it and speak to it. Yeah, which often that's a lot of the magic, is to speak to what comes up straight away and never let it brew and simmer and build resentment and ultimately disconnection from the person that you're trying to connect with.
Because you could just be like, look, I've noticed this within you and it's making me feel this way, and imagine being that vulnerably open to someone and they going, oh, I didn't even realize, I'm so sorry, or they go, fuck off, and then you just go your own ways. And it's like, thank you either way. So I found that in my older life. I've always been very outspoken, even from school days. I'd always question and always speak my mind, and I'd never be afraid to do it. And it went for a point where I was saying too much of my truth and delivering it in a brutal way. It's just my nature, I guess, and I've had to learn how to deliver honest feedback, but less brutal, you know, trying to be more considerate of people's feelings, because there's a part of me that, in my mind, it's just, I'm not fluffing it up. I'm not going to go around. I'm going to go straight in.
Perfect.
I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel, exactly how it makes me feel. And a lot of people can't be with that energy.
No.
So it again loops back to, how much do you change the way you deliver things to please other people or make them feel comfortable? It's an interesting one, because I don't want to hurt people, like, with my delivery. Like, there's a lot of hard conversations that need to be had from me with, for example, my parents or my brother or friends, which are doing things that I'm like, I've got to find a way to be able to first of all make it safe for them to receive, because I've done it before where I've just gone in guns blazing and everyone's just gone, holy fuck.
Oh, dude, you didn't ask for my consent.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful distinction, is like when there is an opportunity to point at someone's shadows, is asking for permission. I don't think people do that enough in this world. People just give their reflection without warning. And when I've had feedback land for me, the best is when someone has been like, hi, I want to communicate something that I've seen. It's quite hard for me to communicate this to you, but I'm going to lean into it. Are you open to receiving? I'm like, oh, okay, I get to prepare for a moment,
True.
like soften the walls, soften the parts of me that might want to defend whatever it is that they're speaking to, and be like, okay, I'm going to choose to be open, especially if it's someone that I trust. I feel like people have blind spots sometimes within the realm of projection and reflection. It turns into a projection instead of being a reflection. And I think that's a lot of the mastery of knowing what's mine and knowing what's yours. But yeah, I'll always love to ask, you know, when I've seen something that I've already sat with internally and been like, okay, is this my undealt with baggage that I'm projecting onto you that I'm trying to make your responsibility to look at? Or is this something that I've integrated in my life already that I'm bringing to you that I know is valuable? And I'll only give a reflection when it's that. And it's quite hard to sometimes decipher whether or not you're outsourcing your own personal growth through your partner or your friend, and taking responsibility for what is your own healing and journey to go through.
Yeah, I guess that's the real definement, how you define the difference. And from me, what's worked for me is trial and error. Like, I've done a lot of things which I probably shouldn't have done or probably shouldn't have said, and I've received the energy back. I'm like, maybe I could have done that a little bit differently. Maybe I could have delivered that a bit differently. And then the feeling that it gives my intuition every time I make a mistake and I feel that feeling, it's like, okay, maybe try it this way, and then do it again, and it comes back and it feels a little bit better. And then I do it again and I'm like, oh, that actually felt like a synergetic flow. Maybe stay to that. So I think a lot of people are so fucking afraid to actually speak the truth because of fear of hurting someone's feelings. But if you do it in a way where you actually, it's from your heart, it may come with some fire sometimes, but sometimes people need a bit of a fire prod up their ass just to deliver a message. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's needed, and other times not. And I think with doing and with testing the waters and just getting to know yourself and how it makes you feel and reflecting upon it and going, did that make me feel like I was speaking from source, from truth, from integrity, or was I actually projecting my young, damaged boy onto this person because I needed validation?
Yeah. It's a beautiful level of self-interpretation to be moving through life with.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice thing to invite to, is that asking for permission.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh my
do
God.
that more.
It works so well. It truly works wonders.
Excuse me, mate, but I've just noticed something about you, and I'm just wondering if you're open to receiving feedback.
Oh my God, bro. Shatters so many.
So I've noticed you've been being a bit of a prick with your child. I just want to recommend maybe not being so aggressive to your child. And I've seen it with parents, bro, and I'm like, I kind of want to say something, but like there's a deep part of me that wants to go over and is like, say, look, bro, I think you're actually damaging your kid right now with the way that you're acting. You're acting upon a damaged boy yourself and projecting onto your kid, and then you're going to bring your kid up with traumas. But then a part of me's like, it's not my business. It's not my battle. And that's something I find on a regular basis. Like, when do I step in to share my acknowledgement of these behaviors, and when do I choose to remain at peace and silence? Is that something you've had to deal with?
Yeah. I think too many people take it upon themselves to heal others. And not enough people take it upon themselves to heal themselves. And if that was the focus, we wouldn't need to be doing that for others. So a big journey that I've been moving to recently is relinquishing my own self-bestowed responsibility upon accelerating other people's spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Because truth is, it's not my responsibility. I can hold space for transformation, but I can't accelerate it. And I think that's the difference. As long as we're holding safe space for spiritual development and not trying to accelerate someone's spiritual development, then that's what's healthy and that's what's not healthy. Yeah. Because I've found myself in partnerships throughout my life where I've been sharing quite foundational aspects of self-interpretation and reflection and regulation. And, I have really happily shared those things. But then over time, those beliefs and values and ways of moving through emotion weren't embodied to the point where I could really, really clearly see that they couldn't embody it. And part of me was like, I just need to hold more space. I just need to be a more stable masculine. I just need to made it all about me.
Yeah.
When really it wasn't about me and my journey. It was about them and where they're at with their journey, and realizing that and reminding myself that today and every day that it is possible to be met without having to be the one that helps them arrive in themselves. And yeah, I'm making it less my responsibility to hold someone's hand through their spiritual journey, and more my responsibility to be very grounded and very stable within my own beliefs and values, so that when some feminine force comes along and starts trying to shake my world and shake what I know to be the most authentic version of my truth and how I resonate with the world, that it can't happen. That it will just be that time for me to go, thank you for showing me where you're at. And I honor where you're at and I accept where you're at. And unfortunately, I do not resonate with that, and love you and leave you. Thank you.
Yeah. Powerful, man. Like, it's having that awareness of not trying to fix people, because in relationships, if one of you is ascending and improving and reflecting on your mistakes and trying to become a better version of yourself, but the other person is not living to those values of ascension and evolution, and you keep trying to pour into it, and for some reason it's just not happening, maybe that, you know, you're trying to force change in someone where it's never going to happen. And it's an interesting one, because even with my partner, who I love with all my heart, we've been together for 8 years. From when we met 8 years ago on a small island in Gili, living a freedom life. I was teaching scuba diving, just freedom, barefoot, riding a bike around an island in the middle of paradise for a year. Met this woman who fell in love with, and now we've got a child of 3 years. The people that we are now is completely different, and the ascension and the skins we've had to shed to get to where we are right now. Mate, if one of us stopped trying to evolve and one of us didn't, you know, if one of us just was like, I'm happy where I am, I'm comfortable, it would never work. So constantly to maintain relationships is a constant, I don't even know, ascension together, and just constant check-ins of I'm noticing this or this, communication. Yeah, it's massive.
I feel like relating is like boiling water, except you always want the temperature of the water to be the temperature that you want your bath to be. Not because it's healthy, to have a healthy amount of conflict within a relationship. The ratio that I've come to learn that in my perception of reality is healthy for relationships is 85% bliss, 15% processing. And I've been reminding myself that throughout the years, when I've found myself in something that has had a lot of chaos in it. I'm like, oh, what's the ratio? If I were to think about this for a moment, what is the ratio of bliss to processing that's taking place? Is it 60-40? Is it 70-30? Is it 90-10? And it's been a really nice reference point to remind myself of what I know to be healthy. And it's obviously when you're in the thick of it, it's quite hard to be like, acknowledge, the white sheep for being a white sheep. Because part of, I think, human compassion wants to always believe that someone can become better. Knowing that as long as the ratios are really healthy, then it's a really beautiful thing to consciously stay in.
It's a fine line, isn't it? Because there'll be a lot of people that would have given up too early on a relationship that could have worked with communication and repair. There's so many people that think, because we're arguing a lot at the moment, that we're not compatible. But I think what's missing for most people is have your expansive outburst of whatever you feel in your emotions and feel them painful moments, but then regulate yourselves, come back and communicate. Be like, look, this is how it made me feel. And also take accountability for the way you acted in that moment of, I'm aware that I did this. Tell me if there's anything else that I did to upset you, and I know I can, and we can talk about it. And I think that's the missing key for a lot of healthy relationships repair. Is healthy repair. There's too much pain without repair. So yeah, it's it takes courage to be able to sit down with your partner and look, I know we had a bit of a day yesterday, but let's talk about it.
That is the polar side of like, I often have battled with that part of my intuition of looking at challenge within relationship as this is just another opportunity to heal a part of me. And it's been a beautiful journey to go on, because I feel like the deeper I go into myself, the more clear it is when something is an opportunity for healing and an opportunity to become a better version of myself, or an opportunity to remain in my knowing and remain in what feels true. And that it isn't just another initiation that life's trying to give me that I need to show up more. Sometimes, and I feel like I'm being a bit of a devil's advocate in this conversation for a moment because it's been my past experience, but sometimes it's not just another initiation. Sometimes facing it in this ascended approach of, I just need to, be better man, or, hold a more safer space, or, approach it like I didn't do enough and I need to do more. Sometimes that's self-sabotage. Sometimes that is ignoring what's true. Sometimes that is allowing really unhealthy behaviors to exist just under the spiritual bypassing lens of self-development. And it's such a journey, because both are true. Both are true. It is very important to show up in relationship and with a partner with acceptance that none of us are perfect. We're all going to have moments where we have outbursts. We're all going to have moments where we aren't necessarily in a perfectly regulated state of being. We're human. That's okay. I think that's really important to acknowledge. The other pendulum swing of that is, how deeply does someone identify with their pain? How deeply and how strong are they holding onto it? Like, I am my suffering. And if I can see that the person who I'm relating with doesn't have a strong grip on the identification with the suffering, then that's what softens the part of me that is like, no, this is healthy. They are willing to grow. They are willing to evolve the parts of themselves that I can reflect to them. Whereas when someone holds on like it's their lifeline, it's like, okay, well, maybe you didn't have a healthy relationship with your parents during your upbringing, and you were always seeking for validation and always seeking for approval through comfort and through love, so that when, something comes up, you don't address it. Because if you addressed it, then it would mean you wouldn't received your affection. You wouldn't have received your love. So yeah, I think it's just important to shine the light on the whole pendulum swing of what it is to be in a relationship and try to show up consciously and acknowledge when something actually isn't that, and not get stuck in the convincing of self that, it's healthy. Yeah, we're reaching some deep places of self-introspection.
Yeah, it's the fine tangles of the polarities and of trying to understand, like when you talk about someone that identifies as the pain, but and then not making it all about you. Like, how can I improve? How can I be a better person? How can I handle this situation better? Like, yes, that's good to think, but also hold a mirror up to the person that you're having this with and go, also, I think you should take a look at how you're being as well, because I know myself to a point of the way I am interacting in this moment is integral to my heart and my soul. And what I hear from you is trying to question who I know I am, because I know who I am through experience, through intuition, through going through these in the past. And because I am clear-minded, I'm in touch with my intuition, I'm in touch with my body, I'm in touch with my spirituality. How do you define whether they're projecting onto you and you're taking it as, oh, I need to improve, instead of, wait a minute, this is you?
That's a really fine line. And I think the distinguishing factor of whether or not you know, it's the other person's stuff or it's your own stuff, is how it feels in your body. Does it hit a place of truth or does it hit a place of confusion? I feel like when I have been in a moment of conflict and had something reflected to me where I initially had my walls kick in, almost quite soon afterwards, even though there may have been a wall that came up originally, I'm like, oh, actually, give it time to steep, let the truth be there for a moment. Ask myself, check in with myself with what they've brought forth to me. Is this true? And obviously there's a fine line of, avoidance within self of wanting to sometimes deny that it's true because you don't want to be that version of what they're seeing. And if you deny it, then you're removing the projection, right? But it's actually not necessarily about denying it, but it's more about feeling it fully and inviting their reflection in. And then asking yourself what they've asked you. So you don't have to have this conversation with them. It can actually be a conversation with self.
Yeah.
So like something that came up for me a couple of months ago when I was sitting at a cafe and I didn't want to go to a yoga class because I don't know, it's not my passion. It's not what makes me excited. It's not what makes me happy. I was like really short and sharp and I was like shut down the idea when it got offered to me. And I just thought I was being, in my truth and in my knowing of like, I don't want to do that. But really, I was avoiding the part of myself that was not feeling comfortable in trying something new. And my partner at the time said, like, you're being really sharp with me right now. Like, why are you talking to me like that? And I'm like, oh, it's just because I know what I want. And I was actually like, it took me a couple of minutes to tune in with myself and realize that I was actually scared to expand. And in that energy of being scared to expand, I tried to protect myself through thinking my truth was just unwavering.
Yeah.
When really the opportunity to grow was there and I avoided it. So yeah, I feel like the fine line with, taking someone's reflection on and taking it on as truth or projection is actually taking a moment to ask yourself how this feels if you speak it to yourself. Because sometimes when someone else says something, it can be this, I don't like the word battle, but it can be this like, whose ego is stronger in this truth, and if you remove the other person from the equation and just ask yourself, then it's not about they're telling me that I need to change or that I should be doing this or that I could be doing that. I then get to ask myself, do I want to do this? Is this something that I want to lean into and will I benefit from doing so? And often it's always the case that we will if we choose to take it on board.
Just creating that space. For example, for you on a boat, you just go out to the middle of the ocean. For me, it's sleeping in a swag in my front garden for a night, just so I can actually take a step away from the moment instead of pouring fuel onto the fire. It's actually just, I love you. Let's regulate. Let's come back. Let's just let this dust settle. Let's deal with whatever's coming up. Because on the day where sometimes I'll wake up real heavy and because my partner's there, she sometimes gets that energy spat onto her through flames, just spitting out the fire. And it's actually, I need to go and take myself away from this situation. And it's a fucking hard thing to do, bro. Like when you've got your partner and your daughter there, and as a man, you feel like I can't be here right now. I actually don't have the capacity to support both of you right now. It's such a fucking hard thing to be and to do. You feel like a failure at times. You're like, I really want to be there for you right now, but I can't. I need to be there for myself so I can be there for you. And I said, I was like, you need to reach out to other people. I need help. with being there for you guys. It takes more than just one man to support a family.
Yeah.
It takes brothers and sisters and community and family. And I think that's what's fucking missing, bro. That's what I'm feeling anyway. I'm like, even though people are so consumed in their lives, and I get it, but at the same time, people with kids, especially, I have so much respect for single parents, because I can't fucking imagine how much stress and pressure they must feel with just trying to raise a child by themselves, because it requires a strong unit of mentors and guides, and it can't just come from one person. And I'm sure there's other dads, I'm pretty sure there's other dads that feel the same way that I do sometimes, and it's sometimes you've just got to go away, find your person to cry with, release that pain, release that anger. You call it release, or you just be with it, whatever you want to label it as, and then come back. Because as soon as I do that, I come back and I'm open to my daughter. I'm like, and I say, look, babe, I said to her, I was like, I'm really sorry that you've had to, see me in that energy, because it's not my highest self. I am working through some stuff right now, and it is painful, and you are going to see some parts of me that may not be perfect or ideal, because I'm not, and I'm trying to figure this out, and I'm sorry that you had to witness the energy between me and Mum, because I'm sure it doesn't feel nice for you. And I say that to my 3-year-old because she knows, she feels it, and I can see her, and I'm like, I look at my partner and I'm like, let's just come back and talk about this in private, because it's not just us that we're dealing with anymore. There's a little being in the middle of this that we need to respect, and we need to respect that energy, and don't want it to, it's real that there's going to be tough moments in relationships, but there's also some things that they don't have to be exposed to the whole time. So it's a fine line. So I'm going to buy a boat.
You got this, brother.
Mate, I love what you're doing, and I feel like, I can feel the peace of this boat, and I can feel a part of me that was once a sailor, or once just a voyager on the sea, that just, there's so much majestic things happening in the ocean. And I'd love to know some of the most magical things you've experienced. I know, because we've been talking about painful stuff, but I want to know some of the beauty and some of the most magical memories you can remember from living on the ocean, and what it's taught you from living on the ocean that living on land could never.
Well, I've been living on the ocean for the past 15 years and have had a lot of time just surrounded by empty horizons. And I think the first memory that pops into my mind about one of the most magical moments I've experienced is on a recent yacht delivery from Gold Coast to Adelaide. I was on shift and it was midnight, and I was upstairs behind the helm, all weather geared up, fully covered, warm, cozy, midnight. There was no moon. It was big swell, strong wind. I'm up there on the helm. The autopilot wasn't working, so it wasn't able to withstand the amount of push and pull that the ocean was providing. But when you're on the helm, you can do those micro adjustments and stay in control. I had my earphones in and I was listening to like the deepest, grooviest, like melodic house. And I was dropping into 2-meter waves and surfing this 35-foot boat and just sailing at like 12 to 15 knots, just having the time of my life. And I look to my left while I'm steering. And for my whole life, I've been waiting for this moment. I see this lightning torpedo next to the boat. And I'm like, what was that? And it's just this trail of white light just zooming past me on the edge of the boat. And then there's more. There's one more. There's two more. There's three more. And then I look to the other side and there's three on my other side. And I'm dropping down these waves and I'm surfing these swells in the middle of the night. And I'm surrounded by bioluminescent dolphins surfing the same waves that I'm tapping into. And when I realized what was taking place, I could not believe the version of reality that I was living in. Literally looked like snakes moving through the water, because what happens is the dolphins, like they light up the bioluminescence and then they leave a trail because we're moving so fast. It's like this snake-like trail, and I'm dropping into these swell lines and I'm surfing these waves with these dolphins for my whole shift on the helm. And I just couldn't believe the version of human experience that I was having, connecting with these dolphins, connecting with the bioluminescence. Like,
magical.
it just rocked my world. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen and been involved in, was connecting with dolphins in the middle of the night, surrounded by bioluminescence.
So magical.
In the middle of the ocean, surfing down huge waves. It was
a rush.
It was amazing. It was a moment I'll never forget. I felt like everything in my life had led me to that moment where I connected with these animals and they connected with me and the vessel that I was on. And if I had made even the slightest altercation of any of my choices up until that moment, I wouldn't have arrived there. I wouldn't have been there, and I wouldn't have had this human experience. I was just overflowing in joy and ecstasy, and I don't think I'll ever forget that.
It's like the universe going, you're on the right path. You're
Felt
in
like
where
it.
you need to be. It's beautiful when you get little signs like that, where like things happen and you're like, this is a sign that I'm on the right path. You know, like you get the coincidences and things that happen and that you've spoke about, or just something that aligns with you. Those moments where you're like, I hear you, universe.
Totally.
Do you find that through the living on the ocean that you can communicate with it, or it sends messages in any way?
I feel like my connection to whales specifically runs really, really deep, because I've been on the ocean since the age of 11 and have been hanging out with the whale migration for the past 15 years. Actually, from when the whale population was, let me reframe that one more time. When the humpback whale population was at their life of 300 left, was when I started to connect with the whales back in 2011.
How did you connect with them?
Because my dad bought a boat, he would sail up the coast and hang out with the whales in Harvey Bay. And I would just be there because I was his son, and I would hang out with the whales through him. And there was only a couple of hundred whales back then. And I got to meet many of them, maybe half of them. And since then, their population has grown to up to 40,000 or over 40,000 whales. So I feel like a really deep connection to them, as almost every whale that I meet, I've met their parents, and I've met their parents' parents, and I've known their family for the past 15 years. So I feel like I have a very almost telepathic connection with them. I can read them. I can tune into their energy. I can tune into what they're trying to communicate. I can read their body language. I can feel where they are before I've seen them.
Wow.
And they have such an incredible ability to create groundedness that it's almost like a superpower tool that I've seen over the years through connecting people to the ocean. Whales inspire love. Whales inspire peace. And whales inspire contentment like nothing I've ever seen. When people are in the company of whales, everything disappears. All of their worries, all of their troubles, anything that they've been holding on to or identifying with as who they are or what they're moving through gets to disappear for a moment. And seeing that take place for all the people that I've connected to the ocean, and seeing that take place for myself, I've realized that I am not my struggles. I am not my suffering. I am love, and I have access to that love in each and every single moment. And connecting with Mother Nature is the easiest bridge to that love that I've ever found. And that's why it's become my life purpose to connect people to the ocean and remind them that the ocean is a teacher and a healer. And the more that we can open ourselves up to the mysteries of the ocean, the more we're opening ourselves up to the mysteries within ourselves. Yeah.
Power.
Yeah. It's been an epic realization to see the ocean as me and to see that I am the ocean and all that the ocean is going through. Obviously, the ocean is going through a lot right now. The ocean is dying in many ways. The reef is struggling. The populations of animals are decreasing. The animals that we were so used to seeing so commonly are either going to be endangered or extinct already. And it's real. I've been out there. I've been witnessing and watching the same reef systems for the past 15 years, and it hasn't been getting better. And it's really scary to think about that the ocean could actually be dying.
Do you think the main contributing factor to that is humans?
Big time. We are very much so responsible for what has taken place on the planet as a whole. Sure, the planet was eventually going to go through another cycle of heating up or getting too cold and everything dies. Yeah, sure, that will happen. We've accelerated it. That's what we're responsible for. It was going to happen anyway, but probably not for a very, very long time.
Do you think it's irreversible? Do you think it's reversible?
I think the best thing that we can do as individuals within this planet is take responsibility for the food that we eat. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people put their money towards the slaughterhouses, towards the commercial fishing, towards, salmon farming, towards industrialized death. But I feel like if people no longer put their money towards industrial killing, it would give the earth and the ocean an opportunity to take a breath.
Yeah, why the fuck are we still supporting these toxic, horrible, greedy, massive corporations which don't care about the planet rather than sustainable, small businesses?
For ease and convenience.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more expensive to buy better stuff. And I can see how it's not always our problem. It's systematic to the point where people can't afford to buy the better option because they're in this loop of trying to just put food on the table for the family. So, but yeah, having more self-awareness and consciousness of how integral is John West's tuna. I don't know. Do you? I don't. I've heard that it's pretty industrial, and it don't really care about how many nets is thrown in the ocean, and
it's terrible. You don't want to hear the facts behind that.
I fucking do. I want everyone to hear the facts. I think people need to know the facts, and I think people need to stop sugarcoating the fact that you're eating a dead cow. Like they call it beef and they call it bacon, and it's like no, it's a dead pig.
Yeah.
This is how they die. Watch it. This is what you're doing. I used to do it when I was younger to my mum. Like, it's a dead chicken. Look at how they kill him. She's like, I don't want to see that. I'm like, well,
it's interesting.
Face the reality of what you're doing and what you're eating, And when I worked on a cattle farm, I seen the process of how they process cows and calves, and they, put them in this thing and tip them on the side and open the legs, and some guy with a razor in his mouth cuts the nuts, pulls the nuts out, brands it, chops the horns off, and I'm just there like, holy fuck, this is so much pain for this little cow and its mum. And I couldn't eat meat for so long after that. I went in the vegan train, and that's a completely different story. But now I found a whole new respect for animals, and I'm buying my meat from well-sourced farmers and butchers that I've done a bit of research on, and I do want to eventually start catching and killing my own fish to eat it, so I can cherish and honor the life that I am taking to nourish my body.
I think it's totally normal for humans to consume meat.
Yeah.
I just think that the way that it's being done is completely unhuman. I think if people returned and connected more deeply into the way that we used to eat meat, the meat itself would hold more nutrition because there'd be actual human connection to what it is they're consuming. And there would be less people eating meat, which would be better for the planet too. Because a lot of people don't have the courage to kill something. A lot of people won't. Even if they eat meat, they won't kill something. And to me, if you're not willing to kill what you are willing to put in your mouth, you should not eat it. Because where is the congruence with your values? It's like, oh yeah, I'll pay someone else to kill it, and then I'll just pretend like it was never alive to begin with. Well, you're disconnecting from the reality of what you're consuming.
What about people that want to eat meat that don't have the in them to kill them? Is the other ways that they can still, I think there could be still a way of ceremonial, consciously, not just mindlessly going buying factory farm cows, but actually going to an organic butcher who takes care of his cow and giving thanks that way. Because I get it, man. It is brutal watching an animal die. Like, I don't think I could kill a cow, but I do eat beef. But I'm like, every time I eat beef, I'm like in front of my daughter going, thank you for this cow's life. Thank you for the farmers for, taking care of this cow, for preparing it, for bringing it to us to this plate, for the people that stored it and sold it to us. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then we eat,
I think that's a beautiful level of reverence to bring to consuming meat. I think within that, there's also an invitation to go one step further, which could be, if you felt excited to try it, was not just go to the butcher, but then say, hey, where's the farm? Go to the farm. Meet the cows. Meet the person who killed the cow. Build a connection, build an understanding with exactly where it came from and exactly who was responsible. I think that's the next step, which really builds an actual connection to the meat. And then obviously the next step after that is being like, hey, can I be a free helping hand for the day in this factory? Can I butcher this cow with you? Then the next step after that is, I'm going to kill my own cow.
Do I still want to eat meat now?
Well, and then it's like, all right, well, I've outsourced this responsibility to all the people that I've just met, and I've now been involved in the process, and I now understand. Can I do it myself? And if it's a yes, fucking do it. You will reap the benefits. The meat will be cheaper because you'll go and find it and you'll go and hunt it yourself. The satisfaction will be paramount because you're actually connected to the meat. And the earth, eventually,
it's primal.
Will benefit because it's not outsourcing slaughtering with the money. It's taking responsibility for it. So I feel like those are the stages. Like, obviously, a lot of people are convinced that grass-fed and organic is like good, but like it still has the same. It's still,
if the energy behind it is
it's still the same. Like, it's sure they ate grass, good for them, but like, did you meet the cow? Anyway, we've definitely taken a big tangent.
Yeah, because we were talking about the ocean and how it's decreased in it's dying and probably being overfished and plastic. I'm sure they're the main factors, do you think?
Yeah. My main thing is the health of the ocean, because the health of the ocean, like the ocean creates up to 70% of the oxygen that we breathe and absorbs a massive amount of the carbon dioxide that we put out there into the world. So if the ocean is not able to create that for us, the imbalance on the land, ocean's number one.
We're looking after the trees, but we forgot about the ocean.
Honestly, the ocean is what's providing the stability for the land.
Yeah.
And if we lose the whales, the dolphins, the turtles, the sharks, oh my God, that's a whole nother topic. Sharks.
I hate how people have shamed sharks over the years and made them to be this predatory, fucking vicious creature. I used to scuba dive next to sharks, like 30 of them, and I'm still here. I never got attacked once. They're actually very placid, kind, loving creatures.
Truly.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we could go down there.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I want to just see how long we've got, because you know what I'm going to do, bro? 58 seconds. I'm going to pause it here. Like a transition of lighting in this pod, but
Yeah,
whatever.
it's fine. Not trying to prove anything.
Not trying to prove anything. Not trying to be anything.
No.
Yeah.
Sharks.
Yeah, sharks. But on a whole new level of that is the ocean in general. Like, what do you think we can do as individuals to kind of start the reverse of the health of the ocean, the health of the aquatic life? Because we've been told plastic straws this, plastic straws that, and I think, yeah, it is an issue, but realistically it's just a distraction from the big corporations and big companies that are causing way more fucking destruction to the ocean than Barry and John using a fucking straw that's made from plastic.
I feel like where there can be a pivotal integration of change that will positively benefit the ocean as a whole is learning to fall in love with the ocean. I feel like so many people are not in love with the ocean. You first have to care about something before anyone has the willingness or readiness to change. If people started to meet the ocean with a little bit more love and a little bit more care, the ripple effect of that, it's not about, I mean, sure, it is about the large corporations and our everyday choices, but it all stems from loving something. Like, I love the ocean, and in the way that I move through life, it's like a undercurrent of what I choose. And I feel like that's part of my mission here, is to help people build a relationship and a care and a level of love for the ocean that wasn't there previously. Because you first have to care for something in order to want to protect it.
And if you're not exposed to it, you never know.
Yeah.
It's like I only learned real love for the ocean when I did start to scuba dive. I eventually fell that much in love with the idea of it that I decided to teach scuba diving to other people, because the majestic powers of just dropping into the ocean, nothing else matters other than breathe, observe. You feel so small and so out of this world when you're under the water, just like swimming next to turtles. I was swimming next to turtles that are like near enough bigger than me, just looking them in the eyes, and it's just something so majestical of just looking at them in the eyes of a turtle, man. Totally. And looking in the eyes of the dolphin and the whales, and the connection between myself and an octopus and how alien like they are. And then going on night dives, just dropping down pitch black, bro, and putting my torch to myself and just looking around going, wow. It's like being in space. It's like out of this world, planetary things that not enough people know about, and there's so much fear based behind what you go diving at nighttime, like, and it's so powerful.
Yeah, to me, I see the ocean as a portal, and a portal to another world, really.
For sure.
Like, the surface of the ocean is an access point to something that is beyond what we've fully become to understand. The ocean is the last place on Earth that we are yet to fully explore. So to me, when I meet the ocean and when I dive from the realm of gravity to the realm of zero gravity, I acknowledge that I'm going through a portal to a different world, a world where the animals are different. The languages that they speak are different. There's no gravity down there, just like out in space. Out there is the unknown, but down there is just as unknown. So,
and you don't need a rocket ship to do it.
No.
All you need is to hold your breath and swim down with a mask on.
Yeah.
If you want.
Absolutely. So that was a massive moment in my life when I realized that water is a portal to another version of existence. And I think that on land, we think that, you know, we've discovered everything, and, you know, there's no questions that haven't been answered. And I mean, sure there are, and everyone has their own interpretation to the big questions. But to me, realizing that the universe stores itself in the water, and that I am the water in every aspect of what it is to be a human. On a cellular level, we are 99.9% water. And water responds to words, water responds to frequency, water responds to intention. So the more conscious and the more powerful and connected I am to the frequency that I am emitting from my being, the more aligned and the more connected my water molecules will be. Therefore, my channel will be more open to receive, to manifest, to attract, to exist in harmony with my destiny, as long as I am in reverence and connection to the water within my own being and the water that surrounds me.
It sounds divine, and it sounds beautiful, and it sounds yes. But for anyone who's listening to this going, that sounds so unobtainable right now in my life, and, you know, feeling the heaviness of the world, what are some things people can do to even get close to getting to that level?
So there's been a scientific study that's taken place that shows what water responds to most out of everything on the planet. And the words that water responds best to is really simple. I love you, thank you, I respect you. And you can do that to your glass of water. You can pour your cup of water, whether it's from your tap that's run through, you know, right angle pipes and isn't structured and, you know, has been treated and has all sorts of terrible stuff in it. If you say, I love you, thank you, I respect you to the water that you're about to consume, the frequency and the vibration that comes out of your voice programs the molecules within that water. And then when you drink it, you become those prayers. So that's the easiest way to connect to the water that is within us, is program the water that you're putting into you with, I love you, thank you, I respect you. The water molecules, they go crazy. They're like, oh my God, I'm seen, I'm loved, and I'm going to nurture you. You know, so many people are disconnected from the way that they consume water. And I feel like that's part of the driving force that disconnects people from their intuition, because they're not actually consciously meeting themselves. Whereas once you start meeting yourself with reverence, and when I say meeting yourself, I mean meeting the water inside of you, inside of yourself, your connection to your truth, your intuition, your path, the people you're choosing to surround yourself with, it all starts to become really, really clear. So that's what I would love to invite anyone that is hearing this, is invite a level of reverence when you meet water, and invite that into your body, and realize that the water that you speak is the water that you become. Sorry, the words that you speak to the water then becomes your very structure of your DNA.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times about, you know, the words you speak are spells, and spelling is casting spells, and speaking vibrationally is, we are all energy, we are all frequency, we are all vibrational. And I don't speak to my water enough now you've said it. I
Give
really
it a try,
don't.
bro.
I'm gonna try it, because I think because it's just there, and because, you know, we've got infinite well, not infinite, but what seems like an infinite supply, you sometimes just drink it without any kind of honor and respect for what it actually is until it's not there. Like a lot of things in life, when you've not got it, like power, for example, when you lose power, you're like, what can I miss power? What am I going to do? Can't like turn the lights on, you got no fridge, you got no, like, everything kind of changes in your reality. Totally. Same with water. Once water stops, shit's going to get weird, like, really fast. So respect that glass. I'm going to do it more. I know the Costa Ricans, they go pura vida, like pure water. And I think it helps as well if, you know, you've got a good source of water. But yeah, if you don't have that and you're still drinking from the pipes, at least you can still give it some kind of goodness from when it's in a dead form. It can give it a little bit of a heartbeat, like, thank you.
Totally, bro. Totally.
So this is being like fully studied and examined, and
man,
it's wild, bro, isn't it?
Yeah, we can link all the studies to however you can link those studies on your account.
And it all comes back in the same loop to self-awareness, self-consciousness, and making conscious decisions of how you live every fucking day of your life.
Yeah.
Like, you can start right now. Next time you drink your water, I'm going to do it. Next time I drink from my bottle, I'm like, thank you. Thank you, rain. I'm so much more grateful for rain because my property runs off water tanks. So every time it rains, instead of the program that I had in England where it's raining.
Oh no, it's raining.
Now it's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the abundance. And I think that's a lesson in life, is rather than looking at the pains as dwelling, as this is bad, look at them as thank you. Rather, when you meet someone that triggers you and you want to, look at it as, oh, this always happens to me. Look at it as, what is it trying to teach me? Thank you for showing me. Thank you for making me feel, and go into the pain.
Yeah.
So unlock that I think I've had in this conversation, just of how to, hear this information, but actively live by it as well, because with all the other distractions going on in the world, sometimes the hardest thing is to actually do what is going to help improve your life, when it can just be the simple things like breath work, saying thank you to your water, drinking more water, connecting with nature, connecting with brothers and sisters on a similar frequency, connecting with brothers and sisters that aren't on a similar frequency, just so you can learn how to be adaptable in this world, because you are going to meet people that are going to be on a completely different level. And it's like, how can you respect that person and not be like, oh, they're not my people, I don't want to speak to them? Just be kind. Be like, I see you. We're obviously not going to become best friends, but good luck on your journey, And
Totally.
yeah, I think when we can all bring it back to ourselves and really stop trying to fix the society and fix other people, and take it back to, how can I emit a frequency to my water, to other people, to myself, that'll collectively raise the vibration of the earth.
You are spot on.
Yeah. But the challenge is not speaking it, but doing it. Sometimes people need validation, they need to say it, they need to talk about it, but actually just don't tell everyone about it. Just do it in silence. Don't post it anywhere. You don't need to share that you're doing something great for yourself or for the world. Sometimes you can do things that are good for you, and just operate sometimes a bit more quietly.
Definitely. I have an idea.
What is it?
There's a song that I wrote about meeting the water, which I'd be open to singing and sharing.
Do it
on the potty.
Let's go.
Yeah,
why not?
It's unreleased, but
this is magic. Then go, bro.
Yeah, just to wrap it up in I don't know, another essence of how the ocean has shaped me and all the ways that I've shown up to it and it's shown up to me. At the end, maybe when we're ready to finish.
Yeah, I can feel it energetically. We've gone into the depths of this conversation. How magical is it just to sit down like this? And there's always these expectations or thoughts of how you feel a conversation may go with someone, and with you, we're living on a boat, and we're in different worlds essentially, but when it comes down to sitting with another human and connecting, we're all very similar, all in different realities, but all on this earth in a similar kind of just needing connection and needing conversation and needing to just be, I don't even know, just open to receiving and hearing some of the things you speak about. It gives me a feeling of, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm having these conversations. And it's like a reminder to my soul, like, you're on the right path, because these conversations sometimes aren't accessible as easily as it is through having a podcast.
Totally.
But I want them to be, and I want it to be that in, you meet someone at a coffee shop around, oh, weather's nice. It's like, I don't know, obviously you don't want to go too deep with a random, and it can lead to weird feelings, but I think that's also beautiful, and I think it's needed. And for anyone who's watched this and listened to this, I hope that they can just feel the authenticity and the love between, and the synergetic energy that flows between us through two people that I've only met once before.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful.
How awesome.
Yeah. And this is where connection is not about quantity of time, but quality of time and quality of values. Because who knows, this could be the start of a friendship that goes on for eternal life.
I think you're quite right, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And it might not be. And that's just the reality of everything. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Expectations. I don't know how you are now with expectations, but I've decided to lower them a little and go with the flow a little bit more, because I've found expectations lead to disappointment. So if you don't have any expectations, obviously setting values and standards for yourself, but then also knowing that life is mysterious, anything can happen.
Yeah. I think expectations are a road to disappointment. I think releasing expectations can provide a level of being surprised by the universe, and the essence of being surprised by the magic of what unfolds is nicer than anticipating it coming already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say to anyone who wants to go with the flow more and release control over their life so much? You know, for example, they seem to be met with a resistance a lot of the time, and they seem to be challenged a lot of the time. What would be the way to just fully surrender and just try and move through that?
My invitation for anybody hearing this would be, find what makes you excited. Find what brings you joy and that doesn't feel like a chore. And ask yourself, how can I embody this more? And how can I give more of this to the world? And often anyone who's struggling in some kind of, discovery of what they're meant to do or how they're meant to do it, my one piece of advice is find your excitement, find what makes you happy, find your joy and follow it. And don't be afraid to share your journey of discovering it with the world. And there's a full niche in this at the moment in the world. If you discover that you love something and you have the ability to create content and share your story with the world, you can often set yourself free completely, because there's an entire demographic of humans that are living in a version of their life where they never achieved their dreams, but yet they live vicariously through the people who have the courage enough to do it for themselves. And it's a glitch in the matrix. If you can find what you love and have the content and the ability to tell your story with the world, you will set yourself free. And that's what I've done. And it's worked. And it's felt like, I can't believe I get to do what I love every day and be supported for doing this. And I tell all the people around me, you can do it too. So my advice is find your excitement, find your happiness, find your joy, and share it with the world and see how much magic comes your way.
Powerful. What do you think stops most people from finding the power and doing that?
It's definitely fear of failure. I
crazy,
mean, it's intimidating to be seen when something doesn't work out. I was in a relationship with a woman who I bought this boat with, and we had a YouTube channel sharing our love story with the world. 30,000 subscribers on the channel, millions of views throughout the videos. We split up and we made a breakup video, and I shared the truth and it was terrifying.
Yeah.
It was so scary to be honest with the world. But through that, I set myself free. And I think there's been deep, deep medicine in realizing that it's just as okay to fail and to share that than it is to succeed and share that. In fact, it's way more relatable if you share your failures.
Oh, people will support that so much more. Hey, yes, because it is like that. It's like people are waiting for you to fail, so you share that. It's like, yes,
exactly. So don't be afraid of failure, because the more you're willing to embrace your failure and be proud of it,
you're doing a service.
The more you're giving other people permission to give something a go.
Please say that
whether
again.
or not it works.
I interrupted you, and I want to hear it again.
Oh shit!
Sorry.
That's all right.
The more you choose to share your failure,
the more that you're not afraid to share your failures with the world, the more you inspire others in order to try something new. And it's only then when you get to the point in which you're not afraid of being seen within the failure that actually often you won't fail, because you've already embraced the timeline of failing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's quite hard to do. And I still journey with it up today, even coming to this podcast, being like, what if nothing I say is going to bring value, And I was like, oh no, I love myself. It's okay. And I sat with the water and I did a little water ceremony before coming here. And I'm like, whatever I say, I accept myself for. And I accept that that's where I was in that moment in my life. And I'm destined to shift, change, and evolve. And I don't have to tie myself to who I think other people think I am, because I am not that. I am something so much more multifaceted. And so is everybody else. So don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Because we are the repercussion of all of our failures becoming a lesson. And the more lessons, the more ourselves we are.
It's hard, that. It's a very great way to frame things. And even this episode for me feels different energetically as a host of a podcast, because in the previous episodes of me trying to find my feet, I've been not displaying my, not my authentic self, but not the depth of my authenticity. And I feel this conversation has been a bit more of an opening, and it's a bit more of a benchmark to where I want my next conversations to be. I want it to feel this way. I want it to, me not trying to be the host of a show. It's just, I'm sitting down having a genuine, authentic conversation, unlocking just different thought patterns and different techniques and different things humans can do in this very heavy and sometimes confusing world to help them maybe navigate it in a little bit more ease, with a little bit more love, with a little bit more of understanding of themselves, and a bit more consciously aware of the thoughts and the decisions and what they're consuming. So it feels good. It feels right. It feels like, feels like I'm on the right journey just from having this conversation, and I'm going to definitely be opening myself up more in the future. And even, like you said, having them thoughts of, don't know if anything I say is going to be of value. I have the same little voice going, what if you don't ask any good questions and you forget what to say mid-conversation? And it's like, yeah, it could happen. And I love you. I see you. I'm going to sing some gospel music now and trust that it's all going to come through my body. So I just let it go and released it. And, instead of hyper focusing on that, which would then probably come into this conversation, I switched it. Just like you did. You spoke to the water. You was aware of that voice, but you don't let it consume your whole fucking being. You're like, I see you. I love you, little scared Matthew. But today we're going to trust what comes through.
Yeah.
We're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect.
And that is perfect.
And that is just the way it's meant to be. And anybody who is thinking of doing anything, putting themselves out there, like even for me, putting myself out there, recording short form clips, looking at myself, listening to my voice, listening to the mistakes I've made, it's a beautiful thing to feel that cringe, to feel and look at yourself and think about, but what about what Jeff's going to think from school? And what about what my auntie thinks in England? And what about my cousins that are going to be watching this? Or people that I knew from back in the UK that would never imagine me putting my face out on the internet, and I'm trying to share powerful messages. They're going to call me Gandhi or something. There's all these thoughts, and some of them happen and some of them will happen, and there'll be people that you want to support you that don't support you, and there'll be people that you never expected to support you that do. And I think that's where the power is just letting go of expectations, being okay with people not enjoying what you've got to say, people loving what you've got to say, just putting yourself out there, feeling that uncomfortableness, and just trusting that it's all going to be okay.
You can only please some of the people some of the time.
Yeah.
Not everyone all of the time. Impossible.
But I think that's a powerful ending message, is to follow what lights you up, what makes you feel uncomfortable, what is out of the comfort zone. I think meeting the edge is where the magic is, where the real magic is.
Definitely, brother.
I'd love to hear your song.
Shit, I'm getting all nervous. All right.
Sweet.
love nerves. I got to tune the instrument and tune it, grab it, and I haven't actually sung in a while, so we'll see how it goes. So this song that I'm about to sing is a song about how we all go to the ocean with our problems, and how she washes them all away with unconditional love. And yeah, it's a really potent song that is really close to my heart, and it's called Shoreline. And it goes a little something like this. Sitting on the shoreline. Whoa! That was the wrong one. There it is.
Oh, I love that. I love that happened.
Me too. Bro, I love hitting the wrong chord.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I'm not perfect, I'm human.
Nice.
Sitting on the shore. Twice. Oh, I love that. All right. I'm just going to jump straight into it now. A little nervous.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
A little nervous, bro. Oh, God.
You got it.
Do I? All right. Where's the chord? Yeah, I should, eh? Yeah, that's the one I need to remember. It's not there. It's there. All right.
I could just cut off.
Yeah, please do.
All imperfection.
Nice. Sitting on the shoreline, feeling the waves caress my mind. Sitting on the shoreline, watching the moon and the tide roll by. Sitting on the shoreline, as I melt away in the sunshine, soaking in the stillness of all the things to confess. Come and dive into the water, come and dive into the sea. Let go of all your worries, let them fade away with the breeze. And as I sit on the shoreline, I release what is not mine. It's okay and good to cry, better do that than lie. I sit on the shoreline as the waves caress my mind. I sit on the shoreline as the waves caress my mind. Sitting on the shoreline, feeling the waves caress my mind. Sitting on the shoreline, watching the moon and the tide roll by. Sitting on the shoreline, feeling the waves caress my mind. Sitting on the shoreline, watching the moon and the tide roll by. Watching the moon and the tide roll by. Sitting on the shoreline, feeling the waves caress my mind. Sitting on the shoreline, watching the moon and the tide roll by. Sitting on the shoreline, feeling the waves caress my mind. Sitting on the shoreline, watching the moon and the tide roll by. Watching the moon and the tide roll by. Got there in the end. Bro, thank you so much for having me here in this space and on your platform. And thanks for coming to the boat and for, injecting this new friendship and connection into my life. It's a real honor.
I feel the same, bro. Thank you for reaching out and connecting to me and inviting me to your home, essentially, and for that magical song. Just shows like two little mistakes could have one day stopped you from continuing to sing that song, and you pushed on through and touched my soul. And it's a beautiful song, got a beautiful voice, and I'm excited for all other people to hear that as well, because it's powerful, man.
Thank you, bro.
Just help release a little bit of water, which is power to feel, to make people feel through music. Keep going, bro.
Thanks,
got
man.
An awesome voice.
Thanks, bro.
We've not released that song yet.
No, but it's going to be released soon.
I feel honored to be one of the first to hear it, and I'll happily share it with the world to hear as well.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you and all of your wisdom and all your knowledge and sharing just the energy here today. It was powerful, and there's a lot I've taken from it, and I'm sure there's a lot other people will take from it.
Yeah, I've received a lot from it as well.
Yeah.
It's been really beautiful to re-anchor. Yeah, re-anchor in the beliefs and the theories of, what is the right way to move through life and in union with others and self. So thank you for having those conversations with me.
I'm excited to reconnect with you. You're going on a crazy adventure next month. Your whale migration, is that happening next month?
Yeah, a month and a week. I'm setting off for 6 months to go connect with the whales, and
I might come with you, man.
You should go. You should, man.
Babe, I'm leaving. Yeah,
bring the whole fam.
Bring the whole fam. That honestly, some days I feel like that's what's needed, just adventure and stepping into the unknown of just seeing this world of travel. I'm excited to see how it unfolds for you. And yeah, I saw you releasing a video. What is it? It's a documentary?
Yeah, it's like a feature film screening happening this Saturday, 25th of April.
Tell me about it. What's it about?
It's a documentary / short film that captures a moment in time where me and a group of friends sailed through the Great Barrier Reef, and one of the guys on board, his name's Zane, he is downwind foiler, and
What does that mean?
It's like the surfboard that lifts up out of the water and like hovers above the water pretty much, but it's got a mast that goes underneath the surface and a wing, and it like lifts up.
Oh yeah,
you might have seen it.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, he set the intention to break the world record for the longest distance foiled unassisted.
Oh, I know what you mean now. The surfers that you stand on that pop out the water.
Yeah. So we came up with this idea to have him come on one of my sailing trips through the Great Barrier Reef, and then from a certain point, I would throw him over the side of the boat while sailing, and he would embark on this world record attempt. And yeah, we had a filmer on board and an epic crew, and it's time to share it with the world in a couple of days.
I'm like, what I asked, did he achieve it, or is that something we've got to watch?
You've got to watch the video.
Oh, that's exciting, man. I love that. How cool you got to go on an adventure like that and bring some friends and try and break world records. Love that.
Yeah, super, super exciting.
Oh, man, I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, it'll be on my YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
It'll be uploaded at the same time we're doing the screening.
Yeah. What's your YouTube channel name?
It's called The Mer and the Man.
The Mer and the Man. I'll drop it in the comments anyway, because I'll share all your profile. I'm sure people will want to watch and see this wonderful adventure. Like, who wouldn't want to watch a man who's in love with the ocean go and migrate with whales? Like, I will happily live vicariously through you whilst
come along, bro.
I'm coming.
I'll be going year after year.
Sick. Yeah, one day, man, I might have a boat and we'll wave at each other.
Ahoy from the other side of the horizon.
Awesome. Well, wish you all the best on your journey, and
likewise, brother.
We'll catch up again in the near future and sit down and have another conversation.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Epic.
Looking forward to it.
Well, if anyone made it all the way to the end of this conversation, thank you for being here, for listening, for just finding some time to even put into listening to this conversation. And I hope from the bottom of my heart that there's some value in there for anyone that is watching, just to help navigate this sometimes confusing world with so many intricate things. Just be okay with making mistakes, and most importantly, find what makes you feel on the inside, what makes you feel fire and passion within. I think that's where the real power is, finding your soul's purpose. And don't wait for it to get too loud. You gotta tune in now. Any last closing words for you, my friend?
Brother, we've dived to the depths, and that's what I would encourage the world to do as well. Dive to the depths. Even if you don't have a scuba tank on, you'll adapt, and don't be afraid of the darkness that's within, because you must have both, and we all do. And facing the darkness is just as important as embracing the light. So be brave and go there.
Step into the unknown. And sharks are friends.
Sharks are friends, not food.
On that note, until next time.
All right, bro.
Peace out.
Peace. Thanks for the chats, bro.